pick up the Aphelios, but we see that Ashe is now coming out as an answer people like to the Aphelios, gives a lot of proactive options. Obviously doesn't scale up to be an insane hyper carry, but still has damage in the late game because you are a crit AD carry, so we will see.
Although people don't build too much crit on Ashe, generally speaking, these days.
It's
I mean, people
same.
are even going away from their IE.
True, you're right.
In favor of the Death Stance these days, yeah. So we'll see if that's going to come out. We'll see how this draft is going to pan out. Syndra banned away. The set once again.
Actually, there we go. That is another red side ban for... I wouldn't say you need to red side ban Syndra against every team, but considering you're facing Knight Syndra, that is a red side ban.
And I love how going into playoffs, Knight was like, look, I don't consider myself a Syndra player, but everyone started banning it against him because he just performed so well in spring playoffs on that Syndra that, well, do you know what? Going back to the conversation of AD carries, Aphelios has been removed, and OMG say, look, we don't like JackeyLove's Ezreal either.
I was going to say, I want to see if they go for a jungle or if they go for the Thresh, but instead opting for the jungle. Thresh, of course, our highest present support, 86%, pairs well with very immobile AD carries, and you still have options in the jungle to where this is clearly the S+ tier support in my mind.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. It is on 49% win ratio, though. Negative gaming.
Whoa. That's not negative gaming. What this says to me is it's completely dependent on how good you are. But I guess that's maybe another argument to not pick it when you are OMG up against top esports. not to do
my boy Code like that. What the hell, man?
Not to do any low-key flame when we are 1-1 in the series, but
well, Hacker has gone for the Lee Sin once again. That's what he got MVP with in game number 1. He's been looking amazing.
Any of you coming to watch Top Esports vs OMG expecting a Graves pick, not to be seen here. Neither of these junglers picking up this split as of yet. For who knows why? Not quite sure. Just here in the LPL, I say this many times, but our drafts are very dependent on what champions you like to play.
We get JackeyLove's Karsa coming on through alongside a Nautilus.
This actually goes to what I just said right now. It's about what champions you like to play, and this actually is JackeyLove's only other pick this split. He's played Ezreal and he's played Karsa, so JackeyLove having very clear preferences on what he likes, and even if you check out his solo queue, he still plays a ton of Karsa.
I'm looking at the Jhin hover. They're gonna lock it in. We've got a Jhin on the rift.
We have a lane dominant Jhin Thresh bot lane against hey, I want to scale Karsa and Nautilus, which I guess if you do go for the Hail of Blades Karsa, and we've already talked about on broadcast about Nautilus and setting up her passive damage, you are able to trade in the early game, but Jhin is definitely one of the lane 80 carries.
Look, I've not been excited about SMLZ the last few series. He kept getting caught out and blah, 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 right? But if he's going to lock in Jhin every game, I'm excited to watch him.
The thing I like is we're already setting up OMG with a really strong pick comp. You obviously have the single target CC from Thresh, single target damage from Lee Sin. And Jhin, going back to Season 7 when he was in the meta, you roam around the map, open up your ultimate to, find picks and set up siege on a turret.
I mean, you mentioned the ultimate. When you think about the reason that Ashe is in the meta right now, it's a way of engaging. Jhin offers a similar kind of thing with his ultimate to start those engages.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan. Obviously not too good into tanks, which TS have already opened up their composition with, I'll say 2 pseudo-tanks. Obviously, as a support, Nautilus isn't going to get too innately tanky, and Trundle as well. You're going to be tanky, but you're also going to be as tanky as the enemy allows you to be. But this is OMG allowing him to be quite tanky if they decide to lock this in.
Yep, Ornn going to be locked in, so Karsa will be able to get pretty huge in the jungle when he gets that subjugate down onto the enemy tank. But now we'll see where our solo laners are going to be going for the side of Top Esports.
Knight does love the Sylas. It's one of his go-tos in solo queue. It's actually really strange to think about that Knight's pool isn't very, blindable. It's not what people would want to pick on blue side, but he's fine picking all of it. This still can be a top lane pick. It has been seen as a pseudo counter to the Ornn in the sense that you can lane against it and take its ultimate. But the fact that it's such a Knight signature to me, I expect it to go mid lane.
Yep, especially with the Wukong locked in for 369, who's going to kind of get his own chance to shine on this monkey. We saw Curse playing that earlier on in the series.
Here's a bit more insight for our viewers out there. LPL teams are very predictable in the sense that you know what they're going to play from what they're playing in solo queue. Even Twyla earlier, spamming Galio, picked the Galio today. Knight always playing the Sylases, the Dianas. Go check his solo queue. You'll figure it out.
And you mentioned that Icon is this Zoe player. We know him to play Zoe so many times in the past. He's he's going to go for that pick once again now that the LeBlanc was taken off of the board. But as you rightly say, it's one of his signature picks that he looks exceptionally good on.
It's his best champion by far.
I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to bring to the table here. And there's a very interesting composition from OMG. So, Lyric, kind of explain this, break this down for me, because I'm not 100% sure how Jhin functions in the current meta.
This is going to be an interesting one, even for me watching, but let's start with TES, to where it's obviously very scrappy, very brawly, right? You want to see Sylas and Wukong jump in pretty much in tandem with Karsa as well, right? You want to see all of them jump into that back line. They have a ton of burst, delete them. And for the side of OMG, it can play as a front-to-back team comp just for the way that TS have drafted, but still Karsa going to be a late-game monster and Jhin not a tank buster. But obviously all about the picks, right? You have a ton of single-target CC. You have the ability to rotate around the map first and open up that Jhin ultimate. And you have a ton of long-range engage, not only from the Jhin, but also from the Ornn. So it's going to be all about OMG playing with this range and TS trying to, close that distance, set up with TP flanks, or use tempo to get on top of OMG.
See if they are going to be able to close that gap, use the tempo, and get onto these fights, get into these close-range brawls as you described them from the side of Top Esports. Icon with his signature pick, SMLZ bringing out the Jhin in the bottom lane. And JackeyLove, he's going to be able to play his own skin. He's going to be on his Karsa that we know and love. And we'll see how these late game carries are going to be able to function up against one another.
If we just talk about scaling, I really like TS's composition because it should be pretty easy to find the fights you want. If Sylas, steals the Call of the Forge God, opens up with that, now gives Sylas, Wukong, and Karsa all room to jump in. And we've already said Jhin not much of a tank buster in the late game.
Certainly not, but it is worth mentioning as well that Top Esports lineup is not going to be that tanky.
They don't have
Obviously,
like a
you're going to have
tank.
Karsa,
Yeah.
but other than that, I mean, even Nautilus, I think a lot of people think that Nautilus is very tanky, but actually, when Aftershock is on cooldown, Nautilus is not that tanky.
It's very deceptive, and it's one of the reasons why when we talk about Nautilus versus Leona, that Leona does win out, because, Leona's W, she is tanky. Nautilus, not so much. His shield is all about HP. Not about giving resistances.
We're going to see Top Esports starting on the bottom side of the map here. Karsa able to just go for his red buff, but he was spotted on a ward. So full information here for OMG on how this game is going to begin. Same can be said for top, though, as they've got a ward on the red buff there.
Yeah, let's see Rune. So nothing too uncommon.
369 and Curse just going to batter each other to start the lane.
Yeah, and Wukong is always just very innately strong, not only with his passive, but also the attack speed you get, so...
Curse is in trouble here. 369 not going to flash for it or anything crazy like that, but really putting his foot down in this top lane.
Yeah, and I want to see where Karsa goes, because... So once again, we have immobile mid laner against, a pillar, so nowhere to go, sets up for the E very well. Instead, going to go for this invade. So doing what Hacker did to him, we've already seen that Trundle wins out this matchup early on, especially when you do go that press the attack route. And I haven't seen Jhin in a while. I'm not a bot laner, but this was the rune he used to take when he was meta.
Yeah, I mean, I am a bot laner. I haven't seen Jhin in a while.
I did remember seeing Hail of Blades for a little bit, like a while ago.
I played Jhin maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and I went on pro builds, and people were still doing fleet footwork back then. I don't think anything has changed for you to not still go fleet footwork, but I could be wrong.
I remember you used to go Doran's Ring as well, if you remember that a few years ago, and just spam your Qs and pretty much never run out of mana.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh, those were good times. Those were good times. That might have been the Season 7 meta where it was like Ashe, Jhin, Varus, all that stuff.
No, I think I maybe missed that one, because I did not see that. But Karsa trying to move into the top side, and I missed the Doran's Ring. I think Curse might have missed the fact that this is about to happen here. He's going to try and force the trade with 369.
Yeah, and our observer decides it's not worth seeing. But actually, Curse pinged the question mark over it, so he smells some funny business going on.
It's possible that minions saw just between the gap and he managed to spot it out. But look at the health difference right now between 369 and Curse. He's on almost double the HP of this Wukong.
Yeah, and moving to the other side of the map, we did already set up that OMG, we're going to have a winning bot lane and laning phase, and of course, Zoe will be able to push in the Sylas. Range versus melee, has the paddle star. It's very easy to wave clear, so it's going to be all about seeing how OMG plays around this priority bot, sets up for picks with Sleepy Trouble Bubble or a roam from Cold, even finding ganks in the bot lane, because you have a Jhin, you want to get ahead.
Curse just about gets past the pillar, and that means he's not going to have to use any kind of flash or anything like that. So Karsa using a lot of time in that top side. It's going to be unfruitful. Root doesn't quite land onto JackeyLove. Cold taking a huge amount of damage in this trade.
And misses death sentence as well, so not able to return anything either.
Hacker is going to be here on the bottom side of the map, and Icon's moving over as well. He's got a GLP right now on his Spell Thief, but he's not going to be level 6, so a bit more difficult to make this play happen.
Still happy to see it. We just set up the fact that they want to play around their bot priority, try to find some kills in the bot lane because they do have the Jhin, and they're proactively looking for it. And to me, that's always the one of the deciders if a team has the potential to improve and be, you know, a strong team or not. Is are they?
Oh, what a hook onto JackeyLove. Root doesn't land because yuyanjia is able to block it. Well played by yuyanjia to deny that play, but great hook in the first place from Cold.
2 summoners for 1, so you're feeling great. SMLZ losing nothing, and Hacker is still around bot lane, so he can look to come make something happen.
Might just do that as well. Spot ward in the back of the Dragon Pit. JackeyLove going for a trade on SMLZ. SMLZ has no mana, but yuyanjia has no health right now. He's dead. He's already gone. JackeyLove just going to flee for the hills right now. One more shot, and it's going to be number 4.
Like, I feel like as the LPL cast, we're pretty critical of players. But when does it become too much? You know, we've talked a lot about yuyanjia on this team, and clearly makes a lot of no-nos.
Well, I like yuyanjia, okay? For the rest of this cast, I'm not going to hear another word against him. You hear me, Lyric?
Biased LPL caster, guys. Go spam him on Twitter and get him out of here.
Lyric is the biased one.
Let's cancel him. Cancel culture.
No, not like this. Please don't cancel me, Lyric.
Point is, going back to, you know, the earlier...
Hey, look, at least people can actually find my Twitter tag.
Oh, God. That hurts. That's true. I don't want to change it. I want it to be my name.
Yeah.
But going back to an earlier game-related point, teams that only play reactively, those are the teams that it feels, okay, I don't care about
Just reactively flashing here. Bellows Breath's not going to save him. Nice little wait out from 369 and a solo kill in the top lane.
This man is having such a good split so far. Only his 3rd series in, but every game now it feels like we're giving him praise, and even built from MSC where we're just like, man, look at this guy. He's so underrated, but already coming with a strong argument that he is the best top laner in LPL. I don't want to make statements like that, you know, this soon. I feel like our top lane one is probably the most competitive argument, but man, 369 with a really solid lead.
He's definitely making a statement for himself right now.
Every game.
The thing is, it's like, here's what sets him apart in my mind, is that it doesn't matter what he picks, he still shows up. So many of the other top laners in the LPL, it's like, okay, he's got his champion, he's going to do well. 369, it doesn't seem to matter.
Me and Hysterics were talking about this on cast the other day, that his champion pool is literally a mix of like the Shy style and Zoom. Like, you go check out a solo queue, Jace, Quinn, all of these types of champions. In pro play, constantly playing the Ornns, the Mordekaisers, the Wukongs. He's so flexible. He plays weak side fine. He obviously links up with Karsa a lot and plays that 2v2 very strong. Does well in team fights, does well in laning phase. Like, right now, it's very hard to pinpoint a weakness for 369, and even last year was that he didn't show up in clutch moments. When it came to playoffs, he fell off. Yep. This year, that's not happening.
And, you know, it's quite a popular phrase now that in the Chinese side, they say he's called 369 depending on what number he's going to roll. Feels like he rolls 9 every single time. yuyanjia caught by the death sentence, but Cold taking a lot of damage himself. Curtain Call comes on through. yuyanjia dodges the final one, but Cold just about survives as well. Both supports barely getting away. 4th shot onto JackeyLove, but Karsa's here. Pillar's not quite enough. Oh, JackeyLove, nice little sidestep. The grenade doesn't bounce and top get away.
Had he been a bit more confident a bit earlier, that would have come out, but still, I'm happy to see SMLZ and Cold playing like this, drafting with confidence, playing with confidence. They have the CS lead. but it actually might bite them right now.
This might be too confident. Cold going to be in trouble. JackeyLove ults in, but he's very, very low right now. He's out of mana. Oh, last auto comes through at the last second. And Karsa grabs a kill.
Ultimately, kind of worth for OMG because TS dedicated their jungler to bot side and OMG didn't, but also not really because Hacker wasn't making a play on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah. I think I said he's out of mana. I meant he's out of ammo. But there's not many games that you have to talk about ammo.
Oh, wait, what happened mid? So we see Sylas all-inning Icon. Icon ending up on the wrong side of the lane. So, okay, no, I'm wrong. Actually, Icon's all-inning Knight. Does he get the kill?
Doesn't quite get a kill. It was close, though. Good effort. In the meantime, Karsa just trying to clear away some of these waves as he might get dived. Knight is here as well. He doesn't need to get dived if he walks that far up the lane, though. Bellows Breath going to be available. He's going to need it for just everything right here. Dodges the knockup, but I mean, against a Wukong and a Call of the Forge God, there's only so much your W can do.
There's some teams that playing as a top laner isn't fun against. TS is definitely one of them because remember last game, guys? Knight was on the Orianna. He was constantly TPing top to help 369. So Karsa not having a fun time.
No, JackeyLove isn't either, though. Depth charge going to go onto Icon, and maybe JackeyLove's fine. Ward hop forwards. Hacker finishes the kill off. yuyanjia has no answer whatsoever.
JackeyLove not having a good series.
Not having a good game, that's for sure. And getting caught out on the Ezreal earlier on. Maybe banning the Ezreal was the answer after all, as he's really struggling now.
He's played it 3 times now. He's played Karsa. This is now his second game. So, and like throughout his career, he's shown he can play everything. But last split, he did not tend to want to go towards the champions like Kalista Misfortune. Even last split, when he came in at the end, he was still one of the people gravitating towards an Ezreal pick.
Yeah, it definitely feels like he's a man of comfort, and Ezreal is that comfort pick. And we have seen, when he's on the Ezreal, he looks like one of, if not the best AD carry in the league. But maybe it's a question of how deep is the champion pool for JackeyLove.
It also suits their style because we've mentioned how Karsa doesn't typically play around bot. But Karsa playing around top right now. Actually playing around Knight, but...
Curse, he doesn't have his flash. It's still going to be on cooldown for another few seconds. That means Knight gets another kill in the top lane. And I mean, you know, Curse is 0-3, but he's getting hard. There's not a whole lot you can do in this
He didn't get to play League of Legends, let's be honest. But so win conditions-wise, we're back to a similar point where so TS want to play around creating pressure in side lanes, kind of like that game 1 where it's about the Karsa Knight duo.
God. They're just going to continue trading, aren't they? OMG is going to kill JackeyLove. Top Esports is going to kill Curse.
You know the worst part is to where you can kind of make an excuse for Curse early on from getting camped. For JackeyLove, there's no excuse. He's just walking up in the middle of mid lane and getting hooked.
Yeah. And, like, well played by OMG to capitalize on that mistake, but ultimately, JackeyLove, he's playing like he's playing Ezreal, but he's on Karsa.
OMG are making looking for proactive plays and trying to create those situations, but JackeyLove's kind of giving them free reign.
And it's worth mentioning as well that Jhin already has his IE. He's already got a second crit cave. He's going to very quickly get to the point that Jhin gets to just one-shot people.
Yes, that fourth hit is... fourth hit stacking crit is just ridiculous.
Yeah, let's just revisit the fact that Top Esports don't have a tanky lineup here. They have found Hacker, though, for themselves, and they will be able to get the first kill of this fight. Curse with a couple of knockups here. Icon comes in! JackeyLove gets his 4th death of the game. Very fitting indeed. Infernal Drake does go the way of Top Esports, though. 369 trying to carry this fight. Cold surviving, though, and 369 will fall. OMG with yet another skirmish. Knight barely gets away from the trouble ball.
And ultimately, this is Icon's best champion. I call Icon this like 2-trick for a reason. He's actually very proficient on the LeBlanc and on the Zoe. So showing that in these fights, and you also mentioning the strength of Jhin opening up his ultimate. Still good by Karsa to secure the dragon, and 369 tried to make something happen, but ultimately the big damage dealer of this comp is going to be the Karsa, and JackeyLove's nowhere to be found. So we see that they catch out Hacker early. Knight jumps in. They walk away, go towards the dragon now, but Icon just playing that well, but still, look, Icon was on a ward. They knew he was there, and from here they try to commit to the fight, but Curse zoning Karsa, killing him. And Knight not having the angle to really jump in with 369 because we talked about it before, right? It's very like a dive buddy system. They need to jump in together so one of them doesn't just get focused and burst it out.
And really important to mention here, you were talking earlier in this series about how this Rift Herald is often given to JackeyLove after he doesn't get the love of his team early on in the game. Well, they've realized that he's really far behind. He's not going to be the carry this game. He's not going to be the factor, and giving it over to Knight instead.
Which is still fine. Sylas obviously scales really well, does a ton of late game damage, becomes pretty much an unkillable monster with all the sustain in his W. But OMG are having a really good time with the fact that they have drafted this more mid-game centered composition, and TS just keep flopping these fights.
Yeah, look at the plate gold going over to SMLZ as well. He is feeling strong, but overall, Top Esports get more of that plate gold. And Curse has been found once again. The CC isn't there, or is it? Gets the knock for the last possible second. And Curse is going to go down here. Knight with 4 kills now.
And right, if there's one person you want on your team to have kills, it's going to be Knight. But even our heavy criticism for TS right now, it's because of the expectation you come in with, where we are building them up as the best team in the world. They said after MSC, this is only the first championship they're going to win. They're setting themselves up as the LPL Summer Champions, which, you know, that's the attitude you need. But they need to do better. JackeyLove needs to do better. Even some of their macro decisions, we look at game 1, need to be more on point.
And like you say, they still have 13 more series after this one, right? This is by no means the be-all, end-all of their split. But it's important that coming off of a tournament like MSC, having such a confident win there as well. Like, let's bear in mind, that final was nowhere near as close as the spring final was. It feels like they've kind of fallen off a little bit looking at this series.
There is, kind of to contradict myself after going on that long rant about why TS needs to be good, I do also stand in the camp that it's better to have a season with struggle than it is to, like, let's say they went 16-0, because that gives you a lot of false confidence. You go into scrims and no matter what happens, you just think, well, on stage it doesn't matter, this won't happen.
I don't want to be the guy that brings up G2, but that kind of feels like what happened with G2.
I don't want to be the guy that brings up my first split last year where we lost a final in CBLOL 3-2 after going like 20-1, but can't speak from personal experience. It happens.
I have said, like, so my girlfriend is a huge G2 fan, right? And I've said to her multiple times, I want G2 to struggle this split so that they can succeed, because I genuinely feel like if you have a perfect season, you don't learn to lose, right? You don't learn how to deal with that. And if it's been a year since your last significant loss, it's going to really affect you when it comes to the big series.
It's really tough, too, because it's also, you need to say, like, you know, people are human beings. You can say, okay, well, just they need to not get ahead of themselves so they're winning and this kind of stuff. But it kind of happens subconsciously, and I love that you're pointing out losses, because then if you do take an upset loss in a series, mentally it's like, oh my god, like these expectations, people thought we would win. What are people saying? What, you know, not even just about what other people are saying. What do you think about yourself, and like where does your confidence come from? It's
so
mental gymnastics.
Slight tangent here. You can see on the graphic, SMLZ on Media Day actually posing with a Jhin mask. He's the mastermind of the LPL. He's been planning this for weeks. That photo was taken a month ago.
So what you're saying was after game 2, they purposely lost, got to game 3 where they pulled out the Jhin to mind game TES?
Exactly. The rest of their split, they've already got their losses, Lyric. They don't need to learn from losses anymore. It's going to be a perfect split from now on from OMG. It's all part of the plan. yuyanjia going for the depth charge onto Hacker. Curse only going to get the knock-up onto Karsa here, and Top Esports able to hold everyone at arm's length. Bear in mind, the Rift Herald is pushing in the mid lane in favor of OMG.
But still, as TS, you would love to have a flanking position for Knight or 369. Right now, Icon can just lay down all this poke.
This is hard. Karsa is the one that's low as well, which means Top surely have to just forfeit this dragon. In goes Icon! Sleepy Trouble Bubble, yuyanjia is going to fall. Picked up by Cold in the end, and Top Esports are floundering here. 369 gets the Cyclone, JackeyLove alongside him, SMLZ taken on out, and look at the CC from 369 carrying the fight as JackeyLove desperate to get some damage out, but Icon still survives. Trouble Bubble goes wide, Can he land the damage? Won't be able to get it. JackeyLove stutter stepping, sidestepping, trying to get the kills. Flashes on over. One more auto, but Hacker shuts him down. Now it's down to Karsa. 1 versus 2 as Hacker has started off the dragon. Curse going to chase him on out. And OMG just win the fight.
That fight was insane. OMG honestly having the better position, having the better decision making. And once again, straight up mechanics, keeping top esports in it. 369 playing out of his mind to even give his team a chance. And great to see some life from JackeyLove in this fight. I love the Jhin ultimate, the curtain call coming out, poking them so low. Great bubble coming out from Icon, and then we see the death sentence hit. So already a 5v4 to start off with, but I'm going to keep my eyes on 369. Him and JackeyLove are being left unhurt. The rest of OMG walk too far forward, and it gives them the room. So honestly, more of a blunder from OMG, but still good positioning from JackeyLove and 369 to take advantage. I want to see if JackeyLove even had to flash here to guarantee this kill. Looked like his auto animation had already started. Okay, no, it didn't. So didn't need to flash, unfortunately, and you know, that one was going to be more of luck, in my opinion, that last one. Yeah,
I mean, he didn't have vision in the pit, so he did have to flash to get on over. And I just want to mention, this is JackeyLove having a bad game. That mechanical outplay is JackeyLove on a bad game. That's nuts.
That is pretty insane. I mean, he's definitely in the conversation for one of the best ADCs in the world. You already see a lot of people saying he is. And one of the things, too, is that he's going to, like, carry on the spirit of, like, Uzi and Chinese AD carries. A lot of pressure, but he's obviously done it before. And as a Draven player, if you watch these casts, you know, I quite respect Draven players. They have a lot of confidence.
In the meantime, Knight is going for a dive.
You know what this reminds me of? Game 5 against JDG, where he picked the Sylas, was in top lane.
Top.
It's when I made the call of like, oh, the best top in the world, Zoom, and pretty much just Knight inting. Once again, it is just Knight inting.
Yeah, I don't know. He doesn't seem to have a good time against Ornn.
He does. I mean, just that
Sylas
against Ornn seems to be his
Achilles heel.
Yeah.
Oh dear, poor Knight. And, well, OMG have complete control of the Baron area right now. There is a ward just outside the pit. You can see it just on the minimap. It's the sneaky wards that are just outside the Baron wall, so you can't clear it.
He goes in, gets the E with Chain Lash. Obviously, proccing his passive a lot. Already on the 10 stacks of Conquer, it looks like. Coda Belt's in, and just gets double knocked up. Dies to turret.
The Bellows Breath from Curse wins him that 1v1.
Yeah.
Because it stopped the knockup from Knight's copied ultimate.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Well played by Curse overall, especially after how bad of an early game he had. So both of our guys that had terrible early games now showing up in big moments.
The good thing for OMG in this position where TS get vision first is, one, they're on red side, so obviously getting to poke into that Baron pit is nice. And two, you do have Curse, who will always be able to face check brushes and be able to walk in, so TS not able to abuse that vision discrepancy too much.
Karsa and JackeyLove are just going to two-man Baron right now. He's finished off his Rage Blade. It's going to be spotted, though.
Yeah, it's
that
too
should
slow.
deter everything.
They have time. Ooh. Even
That's
the bubble does so
bubble.
much.
JackeyLove is going to be able to walk away with his life. 369. The rest of the team is nowhere near, though. He can't actually just go for this. He's going to go for it anyway. 1v4 from 369. He will be finished off. He's just trying to buy time. They trade top laners. And a good amount. Look how much damage 369 did.
Yeah, he's doing so much work, but again,
waiting on to Icon goes Knight, trying to carry the game, trying to be the guy. JackeyLove jumps in, and Icon is ruined.
And it's just great to see them make these decisive plays. No moment of hesitation for Knight, because that's what you need if you're not going to be able to coordinate these engages with 369. I actually love the flank, but OMG just peeling off too soon with Curse zoning the rest of the members.
And now,
they're trying to bait another fight.
Hey, top of being proactive. You can't say anything other than that, because right now they're starting this Baron off once again. Hacker is here, but Cole's pulled in. So is Hacker right now. Rooted on up, but jumps out with a safeguard. Curse is teleported onto the play.
No forge
Baron
god.
and restart. Here we go. Curse steps forwards. yuyanjia wants to zone them, wants to find a hook. He's onto Curse. Knight coming around for the flank. He's got the Lee Sin kick. Can't get in, though. It's just yuyanjia falling to start this one off. Cold is low, but Aftershock keeps him safe. JackeyLove can't do the damage. Karsa is so damn tanky. 369. His Cyclone is about to come off cooldown, and he hits everyone already. Hacker flashing away. They're on the wrong side of the map, though. And 369, he's CC'd. Cyclone finally goes on in. Double kill for Knight. Karsa goes down for the triple.
And we finally see how it's supposed to work. That diving duo in Knight and 369 picking up the kills. And now they should just be able to turn it towards a Baron. But the threat from Icon Zoe is still there.
Yeah, bear in mind, Icon can one-shot JackeyLove if he finds the right
He can one-shot Karsa at this point.
That's true as well. Can he steal the Baron? He's not even going to go
for it. Oh, well, kind of disappointing, honestly.
Yeah, that's kind of sad.
LPL Baron's Icon. We've seen it time and time. The Shy stole a Baron with Slice and Dice. Believe in yourself. It looks like it was on accident, too.
I feel like this is the beginning of a speech where you're going to have it with motivational music.
I already did the DMO one, so I got to do OMG as well. But we see this fight start off, and it's a bit of an unfortunate position right now where 369 doesn't have the Cyclone, so they're not able to jump in. Does get it back up just in time.
And they group up.
Exactly, they group up, and then Knight even kicking Karsa, so he gets hit into it as well, and guarantees the kill on 2. And just great play coming out from both of them. Knight doing so well, and I just want to keep praising 369, man. Like, this guy is having an insane series.
369 is playing out of his mind. And look at Knight's score right now. 8-2-2 on the Sylas. And as you rightly say, picking this one blind, but he doesn't care. He's still going to just take control.
And you know what I love? We've had games where we just continuously praise Karsa. We had JackeyLove's Ezreal the other day.
Yeah.
There's countless games where we praise Knight. Now we have this game with 369. Just each of the star-studded members of TES showing up. And the thing that kind of scares me a bit is I don't just want to call every player on the best team the best player, but TES literally might have the 4 best players.
Maybe not, though, because JackeyLove has just been annihilated. And I mean, that is how this comp from OMG functions in a nutshell.
I just want to know what's happening with JackeyLove today. Why am I praising him after the Game 1 and Game 3 he's showing us?
I don't know, man. Like, I love this team, but that ain't it. Karsa rooted by the Jhin, but ultimately OMG can't do too much right now, and 369 continues the siege.
I'm going to be someone who takes one series, at face value. JackeyLove's not my best AD carry in the world.
Oh, who is then?
He needs to earn it.
Who's BRTT?
Let's say, yeah. Hey, for me, in my heart, sure, but let's go with Hope for now. I like Hope. I like Hope.
Best in the world.
Whoa. He was my
rookie at the start of spring. Now Lyric's best AD carry in the world. Hope rising up the rankings. Unprecedented growth.
I'm just picking an arbitrary name.
Absolute stonks.
I thought he was the best AD carry in spring, but he's not in this game, so we're not going to talk about him. I'm not going to make controversial. I'm not making controversial statements
not in this
today.
conversation.
Oh God.
Oh, Loken.
Oh God. I'm not having this conversation with you.
What did I do? You just put your foot in your mouth.
I did.
This has nothing to do with me. Oh dear. Top Esports, they've got the Baron, and they're going to take some towers here.
And they can pressure all 3 lanes because, they have a Wukong who wins against an Ornn and a Zoe. They also have a Sylas who also wins against an Ornn and a Zoe. So, can play out the whole map. TP's also going to come up soon, so going to be able to react if OMG want to try to all in on one side.
That poor Razor Chicken just got left up. Now he's alone.
That is pretty depressing, actually. We were having this conversation off-cast really about the depressing life of minions, but that is the
sheer genocide. There are millions of games of League of Legends played every single day.
Oh, it's just the freeze frame our producer showed us of the minion dying with his hand on the ground was so depressing.
And look, it's considered a good thing in this world if you've killed 200 minions at 20 minutes. How horrific is that? JackeyLove, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. In fact, SMLZ, he's doing even worse.
I feel like you're making a lot of political T-shirt-like statements today. You made one earlier. I can't remember what it was, but
I don't remember.
This is definitely your second.
My memory is not my strong suit. I just say
this
things
series
as
has
they
been
come to my
pretty
head.
insane, so I don't blame you. OMG are playing a competitive 16 to 15 kill game with TES.
That's insane as in of itself.
But TES do outscale, so
And they have a 5,000 gold lead, and they have a 2-tower advantage. But hey, we've got more than a kill a minute this game, and that's what I want out of my LPL.
The thing is, when you have a front line and you have like pick potential and hard CC like from an Ornn and a Zoe, there is realistically always a way to come back.
Oh, careful.
But I don't expect us to see it this game.
One of the disadvantages of Jhin as a pick is that you are extremely immobile unless you get your 4th shot off, where you get a bit of movement speed. But having this Thresh from Cold is going to be crucial in these later game fights, especially against 369, against Knight, that all they want to do is get onto SMLC.
This is why we were talking about that Thresh first pick maybe would have been, you know, a better choice when there are other priority junglers open. You have more options to where Thresh really is the clear-cut #1 in LPL for supports. You could put Yuumi in that argument as well, but obviously Yuumi shoehorns you into Ezreal to where Thresh you have a ton of options. Ooh. But right now, SMLZ, not in any threat.
Yuyanjia is caught though. Remember earlier when I told you that Nautilus ain't that tanky? Case in point, now they go straight onto Cold, and it's a support for a support. Knockups across the team, but Hacker is alone right now. JackeyLove finds himself a double kill. Cyclone as SMLZ jumped on by JackeyLove. Triple kill, making the quadra, and Scumbag Knight steals the 5th.
Hey, I feel like Knight actually deserved that one. Great team fight coming out from TS. And it looks like they're just going to be able to close out this series.
You know, it would have been really painful, honestly, if JackeyLove got a pentakill in this game after that poor performance earlier on. But you know what? It doesn't matter either way. The game is over, as is the series. Top Esports come back against OMG.
That's why I